Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Joseph Crudup Show. I'm Joseph Crudup. Today, we'll talk about the restrictions of the COVID-19 restrictions that went down today, and they are reopened at nearly a year. And Ward Cooper, the governor, has called on the owners to restrictions of all the stuff they went through. The numbers are going down. It's coming down, and never going up since then. But then we still have a long ways to go. This economy, the economy, and the whole stuff will have a long way to go to recover. So let's get at it and let's go see what happens. Now, let's go to tell you what Ward Cooper has just said. And yes, we talk about stuff that we can, and we're going to. It didn't mean that it did happen. It has happened before, and the COVID-19 and since no, it happens about. It happened about last time, though. We know about this and this and that. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, nearly a year ago when the COVID-19 pandemic began and the outbreak, and then it's killing a lot of people. And I gotta say, wow. But something has changed a little bit in the past, and the restaurants and the bars are open today, and the business are opening back up. Now, Ward Cooper taught us that everything has to be limited. Everything has to be reopened, and it's a capital of 15%, compared to 15%. And here's the coronavirus vaccine. Here's an update of the coronavirus vaccine, y'all. And they do say it about this in North Carolina. But I don't think we should get into that, and we're not. We'll be in about a second. This phone has been acting a little lately. Yes, but anyway, I'm talking about this and that, and this is how fun it has been. And yes, there it is. Now, the vaccinations, like you say, and the vaccinations are at least 1 dozen of 1,469,000 Saturday, and it was 14.01%. Fully vaccinated, 812,003, and it goes 7.74%. Gotta get there. Still have a long ways to go. Gotta get there. Now, here's what they say that is happening, and that's what Ward Cooper talks about. That was went down. Now, here it is, folks. The North Carolina Governor Ward Cooper voted a bill Friday that would have required the state's K-12 public school districts to offer in-person learning again after nearly a year of remote learning for some students. As written, the bill threatens cutting health just as North Carolina strives to emerge from the pandemic. Therefore, I vote the bill, Cooper said. The Senate is already planning an override vote. The bill requires schools to reopen in person the first weekday 15 days after it became law. Most school districts already offering in-person learning, but some have paused it after winter break, and others never open in person at all this school year. Charter schools were not included in the bill. The state then mentioned St. Cooper State Senate Bill 37 on February the 17th, and the governor had a deadline of 10 days to take action. That deadline was February the 27th to sign. Veto or let it vote or let it become new law without his signature. Now the only way for the bill to become law is if both the House and the Senate override it. Senate Republican leadership blamed the NC Association on Educators, which opposed the bill for the veto. Senator Dana Bowen, a regular County Republican who is a co-chair of the Senate Education Committee and the bill's sponsor, said that with teacher vaccinations underway, there is no legitimate excuse for Governor Cooper and the federal law NCAE to oppose the board reopening flexibility this bill grants to school districts. NCAE pushes for teachers and school staff to be moved up in the state's vaccination prerogatives. Cooper announced earlier this month that educators will be the first group of frontline essential workers to start receiving the vaccine on February the 24th, with the rest of the frontline essential workers starting on March the 10th. Many teachers and staff, as well as child care workers, receiving their first vaccinations this week. North Carolinians will undoubtedly have conditions are in the next phase. The state's first phase of vaccinations was healthcare workers, followed by people aged 65 and older. At the same time, the governor boasts of teachers' vaccinations after giving them a higher probability than cancer parents, than cancer patients are for real. He votes this school will reopen a bill because it offers school districts the flexible to operate under the plan that best suits their on-the-ground needs. Burler said in a statement email to the News and Observer. The Fed left NCAE on the governor's mission. Burler said, thankfully, Senate Bill 37 passed was enough bipartisan support to override Governor Cooper's voter, and we are set to bring it up for the override vote. Cooper previously said he didn't support the bill, preferring instead to urge districts to offer in-person rather than recording it. Most school districts have already had months on in-person instruction, but about 20 of the state's 115 school districts have been remote only all the school years so far. He also said he would like for school districts to have local control of their schedules. In case of new soars in coronavirus cases, forces schools to scale back in-person instructions. Cooper told reporters at a recent press conference that he could scientific logic or let this run its course. The legislature has not passed a different schools reopening bill. However, multiple voices the bill passed both the Senate and House with bipartisan support. And not to override a vote. Republican lawmakers urged Congress to support it, given the impact of remote learning instruction on some children's mental health, as well as taking into account the laws and guidance and steers for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Now, to override a vote, a three-fifth now, to override a vote, a three-fifths supplementary is needed. Cooper is a Democrat. The bill is Republican sponsored, and the General Assembly has a Republican majority in its chamber, but not a supermajority. The sticking point for Cooper has been that the bill veers from the state's current health guidelines for schools, which calls for Plan A's minimum social distancing for K-5 only, and Plan B, which requires 6 feet of social distancing for grades 6 to 12. SB 37 requires and Plan A available to K-12 special needs students and for local districts to decide whether to open K-12 schools as Plan A or B. Remote only is still an option for all students. The bill just required there to be an in-person option as well. Now, the North Carolina is under a statewide mask mandate, and requiring everyone in a school building is required to wear masks. The final version of the bill added into the provision for local school districts to create plans to address interregulated work assignments for teachers who are at high risk for COVID-19 and give the same options for those who are caretakers or children at high risk. So what he started talking about, that the schools are going to be reopened probably soon. That's all it says. And Will Cooper had tweeted and said he said the pandemic has shown us that closing in a digital gap, especially in our rural communities, is more important than ever. We are excited to build on the progress we made over the past 4 years to bring high-speed internet to all North Carolinians. And yes, it do have. So they do have, folks. Yes, he's a Democrat Party. He's a Democrat Party. He can do whatever he wants to do. I really don't blame him. So, we all know that the Republicans are angry about. They're angry about this, and they didn't want to talk about it, for sure. And yes, they didn't even mouthful words, but he's talking about this and that, and it's keeping anything safe. He's keeping children safe. Well, anyway, they were in high risk anyway. In high risk. But I think he's trying to keep their children safe. So, no big deal. So now, let's see what has happened so far. Now, the coronavirus update, and just said something about this for us. Now, people who have to get vaccine will get one. So, we're going to find out what happens. Now, I believe the numbers are going down real slow. Yes, it is. It is what it is. And in Granville County, we have 76 deaths in Granville County. In total, in Granville County, 76 deaths and 5,173 cases. In totals in North Carolina, 860,000, 11,209 deaths in North Carolina. It's happening every time. Now we go to North Carolina station and find out. Let's find out what's happening, folks. They says the North Carolina stay-at-home order now left. Face masks still required. Social distance and mask wearing mandates continue regardless of these changes. Now, In Charlotte, North Carolina, where coronavirus data trends decreasing in North Carolina, Governor Will Cooper is loosening but not eliminating some of the state's COVID-19 safety restrictions. The new order and rules began Friday, that was today. Social distance and mask wearing mandates continues. And regardless of the changes, today's actions is a show of confidence and trust, but we must remain cautious, Cooper said during Tuesday's brief rally. The nightly 10 p.m. curfew has also been lifted as Cooper's modified stay-at-home order expired. This nightly curfew is the only restriction being completely eliminated. Capital exchanges will allow business to host more customers situation, meaning business cannot explain to 50% capital so long as social distance mask mandate and other safety precautions are still imposed, that business including restaurants, breweries, wellness, retail stores, gyms, museums, college, barbershops, and other personal care factories and pools. Certain exceptions apply to allow more or less internet and parklets in business. Now, outdoor venues, including most sporting events, outdoor bars, outdoor amusement parks can only operate at 30% of complement but will no longer be met at the capital of 100 people. Previously, those events and business cannot operate at the given capital if the total number of people exceeded the number cap. Starting on March the 1st, CMS will begin to allow 500 spectators at outdoor athletic contests and competitions, especially the home team is allowed 300 spectators, and the visiting team is allowed 200 spectators. Large indoor sporting events, such as those used by college and professional athletes, can operate at 15% capital with no cap, otherwise so long as they still or when on Tricali seats more than 5,000 attendants. Impact on indoors business. The other indoor business, including bars, taverns, indoor instrument parks, movie theaters, can open can operate at 30% capital but not to exceed a cap of 250 people. At bars and restaurants, the deadline to discount nightly alcohol sales have been extended to 11 p.m. So so this is all of the news of Charlotte. Now, Mecklenburg County Health Director Gilbert Harris, COVID-19 health directors, had also expelled as of Friday at 5 p.m. Harris detected expels in Mecklenburg Day with Cooper's new executive order. Harris stressed the need to continue preventing and safety precautions in order to keep data trending in the right direction. We want this to work, Harris said during a briefing Thursday. We need our community to continue to do the right thing. Harris urged the need for business and individuals to continue practice safe habits. This is an easy win to ask upward to a full open, Harris said. And this is very important. This is very important in North Carolina. Very important. We have to do what we have to do, wear masks and practice social distancing. That's what we were doing. We were doing nearly a year. And now here we are in North Carolina, it's treating the NC Division of Public Health tweeted this morning today. And it says NCDHS Office of Health will provide two vaccines one-on-one training sessions on Wednesday marks the door to provide accurate and timely information about the COVID-19 vaccine, address vaccine hesitancy, and help slow the spread of the virus. Big deal. It's a big deal for real. And 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 as it says, wearing a mask, waiting 6 feet apart, and washing your hands, those are the things that are going to continue to protect us. NCDHHS Secretary Dr. Manny Cohen shares the importance of continuing to practice the 3M, 3Ws until anyone has access to the COVID-19 vaccine. And that's what we need to do. That's what we need to do is to have the vaccine ready in the beginning of it could be at the end of March, the end of April, and the end of May, the end of June and July. We're all getting the vaccines this summer. All getting the vaccines every summer. Everyone wants one. Everyone wants one. Joe Biden says there will be 100 to 200 vaccines. 100 to 200 million vaccines this year. Even 300 million vaccines each year. And why not? Why not? Because it's his plan. It was his plan. It was his plan. It was his plan. And Dr. Fauci says, let's go, knows it. Dr. Fauci knows it. So let's go to Dr. Fauci right now. And we'll go to CNN and hear what Chris Cuomo talking about. He and Fauci had a good talk last night. And it says Dr. Fauci tells CNN's Chris Cuomo about the importance of receiving the coronavirus vaccine and how it can be helpful in needs of more variants spreading across the U.S. So that's what Dr. Fauci talking about. And here's what he's saying, folks. Here's what he's saying about this whole damn thing. So now, according to the new Yahoo News, you go poll, the two-thirds Americans are either somewhat or very worried about the level potential more Congress COVID-19 virus that had triggered huge overseas outbreaks and now spreading in the United States. Those concerns are valid, but maybe it's time for Americans to start worrying a little less. To be clear, worrying less about venomous doesn't mean abandoning precautions. Nothing will suppress cases and shorten the U.S. pandemic like wearing a mask, avoiding indoor gatherings, staying 6 feet apart, and getting vaccinated. Yet in recent days, health experts like Dr. Anthony Fauci has begun sounding less pessimistic about the dangers of fourth venom driving away, and more options about return to something resembling a normal life as soon as this summer. Asking if the worst of the pandemic was behind the U.S. first until Yahoo News Tuesday that it might be. It's not absolutely 100% essentially, he continued, but there's a really good chance that we will do fine, at least in the middle of the future. But now most Americans are probably familiar by B117, something like that. At the same time, however, the precautions taken by both invented or partly officials in response to the Americans' deadly holiday sores have helped turn the tide of transmission. Running weather means less indoor quality. More than 13% of the U.S. population and large number of them living or working in American settings. When outbreak tends to begin, have received at least 1 dozen extremely vaccines that not only confers nearly complete protection from disease and death within the weeks, but likely reduce transmission of the virus by more than 85%. The pace of vaccination is about to pick up, with 140 million doses set for delivery in the next 5 weeks. And in addition, 200 million is set to be by the end. 200 million is set by the end of May, followed by another 300 million by July. Meanwhile, that side of America's horrific high case count, with nearly tripling from 9 million to 26 million between November and February, is the tends that millions of Americans have already acquired some degree of immunity to infection in Los Angeles County alone. In its estimate, 35% of the population has already had COVID-19. In Miami-Dade County, that number could be more than 50%. As a result, U.S. COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations have been plunging by 15 to 20% a week for the past month and a half, completely reversed their winter spike. Though still too high, today's average daily case count, 67,000, is the lowest since October 24th. Death and loss indicated are down more than 20% during the past 2 weeks. We're heading in the right direction. And just we're heading in the right direction, it do not matter. We're heading in the right direction. In a global war, in a bill and a hateful war, I mean, it doesn't matter if you get sick. It doesn't matter if you get well. If you had contact with someone, the virus will affect you. If you contact people, the virus will get you. If you contact people, the virus will get you. That's all it takes. It matters the most. And now, people are fully vaccinated with 7.7. So that could be good. And the numbers are down. The numbers are going down at all. And it's getting better. We're getting better, probably. Summer is just around the corner. Spring and summer is just around the corner for us. And we'll have 140 million vaccines, 200 vaccines, 300 vaccines in July. And this is just a Crudup. Please remember, watch it on YouTube and see it on YouTube and subscribe this video. Until then, I'm just a Crudup. Love, peace, and soul. Have a great weekend, everybody.